me, seems to me they need something to cheer them up. And I was thinking, what is he thinking of? He said, well, you know, I forgot to tell you one thing. This woman who likes to sit on the rock and let everybody see how beautiful she is, she loves to sing, and she sings real well. So I don't know, what do you think? I said, oh, I could let her sit on the rock and sing and cheer all the people up. And so then everybody would feel better and have a stronger heart, and we'd all get our work done. So I took even the lady who likes to sit on the rock and let people admire her into my community. And from that day to this, I've never had any in trouble, including disparate others. When I've been on umpteen jillion boards of directors at this and that, and people will say, oh, you know, so-and-so, she's always quoting the bylaws, and she won't let us get our work done because she, and I said, oh, she's our resident gadfly. She's valuable. She keeps us from becoming who we're not.
If you go to the place of your own spirit, this is why people who we sometimes call holy men or holy women, they always look so peaceful. And they're so sensitive to everybody. That's because they're very much in touch with their own spirit. And spirit sees the long run. My tradition says that the condition we are in is called many lives. And it's that we keep coming back for more experience and more experience, because what we're here for, hey, I've got the answer to life. Aren't you glad? The purpose of life is learning. That's it. Teachers never hate hearing that. But it is. Our job here is to learn. That, in my tradition, that's what you say. Learning is so valuable that it is sacred. And the place where you go to learn will be a special place, and it will be sacred. Our garage was sacred, that floor. We did not step on that floor for any other purpose but learning. So I said, Grandmother Twyla says that the first thing every Native American child learns is how to listen, and that's true. When my father would tell me about things, he wouldn't say, all right, now sit down and listen to this because this is something you need to know. He would say, well, you know, there's something that our people have talked about for a long time. You might like to hear it. Or more usually, it'd be like I came home from Sunday school one day and my dad said, what did you learn today? And he always said that, and he always meant it. He didn't mean, well, we studied math and then we studied English. I mean, he wanted to know what I learned that day. I said, oh, we heard all about Moses and how he crossed the Red Sea. He says, that right? How does that go? You never heard about Moses crossing the Red Sea? Never heard your version. So I told him all about Moses and the Red Sea, and got done, and my dad says, pretty interesting. No, our people have a story that's a lot like that. Only our Moses was a woman. Oh, you know. And I went around for days saying, Daddy, tell me about Moses was a woman. And he would say, yeah, I'm going to tell you. So I'd follow him around the house. I say, you going to tell me now? He said, well, no, pretty soon. But this faucet is leaking, and it really bothers your mom that this faucet is leaking. You know, she works hard. She works hard for us, so I really, when I'm home, I ought to fix this leaky faucet. So, Daddy, are you going to be through? So, yeah, I'm going to be through pretty soon. Can I hold your tools? Will that help? Oh, yeah, might help. There I am holding his tools. You know, he's physiologically incapable of reaching down to the floor, so I'm holding his tools for him. And so he gets that done. I said, are you done now? Yeah, I finished that. That old leak there doesn't seem to leak anymore. Well, can you tell me this? Well, you know, your mom was telling me about this crack in the wall here. And so he went in, and we bit by bit, we repaired the crack in the wall, filled it up with plaster, and I held the plaster, and then we started painting, and I held the paint, and we're finally done. I said, are you done now, Dad? Are you done now? He says, yeah, looks like I'm done. Oh, good, you can tell me the story. Well, as soon as you're ready to listen. Ready to listen? What's that? You know, so I ran over. Oh, I must need to sit down. I ran over and I sat down. And I was just so happy. I was just bouncing all over that chair, you know. Daddy's finally going to tell me about Moses was a woman, you know. And so my dad says, well, don't look to me like you can listen. All that movement going on. Seems like you couldn't even pay attention. Oh. My, you sure look uncomfortable. Don't know if you can listen when you're that uncomfortable. Oh. Okay. How's that? Well, I don't know. Let's see. Come over, and he peers in one ear. He says, no, still a lot of thoughts flying around in there. Oh, gosh, what do you do about that? thoughts flying around. Okay, I won't think, I won't think, I won't think. And come over and peers in the other ear, and he says, no, I'm seeing a lot of no's in there now. Yeah, oh gosh, okay. I can't bounce around, can't hold rigidly still. I can't think, I can't not think. Well, we've been doing some work with color, and how you use different colors to do different things. So what I did is I turned everything white. And my dad peered in my ear again. And of course, he could pick these things up from me, but he peered in my ear again. He says, boy, a guy could get snowblind in there. And I thought, good night. I can't wiggle. I can't hold too still. I can't think. I can't not think. I can't turn my thoughts white, so there isn't anything there but white. Oh, I give up. He says, oh, now you're ready to listen. And so over time, I came to understand that when you truly listen, you empty yourself and you let someone else fill it. It's like you're very thirsty and every word is a drop of water, or very hungry and every word is a morsel of food. That's how it is to really listen. The whole pedagogy that I grew up with and that we try to share through some of these procedures is everyone learns from the inside out. Nobody learns from the outside in. From the outside in, they only memorize, which is not the same thing as learning. Memorization is necessary, okay? I mean, you need to know that an A is an A because everybody says it is, not because it is inherently an A. What Western historians want is people proven, documented, sitting in the same room at the same time and signing on the dotted line, yes, we do. But that's not how life works. That's only how history as it's practiced in the West works. My oral history, for instance, doesn't work that way at all. The oral history that I contain, the idea was that when any major thing occurred, or a series of events, or the people chose a new way, they sent out word and everybody was brought in. Everybody who could. And okay, now what did you see, Suzanne? What did you see, Steve? What did you see, Diane? What did you see? And everybody spoke to the center of the circle about what they had seen and what they thought had happened. Then at the end of this, they decided, okay, out of all this, can we agree on ta-dum? And that was the history. What do we want the grandchildren to learn from this? And that was the foundation of the oral history, a continuous consensual gathering of everyone's view. Well, in the West, you don't do that, and that's what I talk about is we tend to be limited to literacy. If it isn't written down, it can't be true, is sort of the assumption. And people are just beginning to include oral histories, which is, of course, a real joy to me. There's been quite a lot of effort recently to go out and begin to assiduously include oral histories. I had a wonderful talk with a Haida history keeper. He had many of the same situations I had as a child. He was 4. He was already sitting on his grandfather's knee and already picking up on the history. And we discovered when we had a chance to talk to each other one night, the experiences are similar because it isn't just that they say, now, this is the history. It's transmitted as whole picture images. You are in the circumstance suddenly. And you see what's happening around you. Then you come back and you learn the chant or whatever it is, You never know which aphorism is going to work best for that person, for any given individual. There are a couple I want to pass on to you. One is that each of us, when we open our mouths to speak, is 100% responsible for what we say and 50% responsible for what the other guy thinks he hears. Because that's the way life works, If somebody's saying some very strange things back to you, it's not a bad idea to say, wait a minute, what did you hear me say? And every once in a while, just totally different words will come out of the mouth, and it takes some thinking to figure out how you got from what you thought you said to what he or she thought he heard. Just sort of, wait a minute, what is this? And it's important to remember that, especially when you're dealing with teenagers. But people in general. And another one is that which enables, disables also. There's nothing that's only a benefit. and that which disables enables also. When I was a little girl, my dad walked me through all kinds of things, and including either literally, physically walked me through if that was viable, or if that wasn't, in terms of thought, he walked me through. And one of it was, how much of your body do you really need? You know? I was talking to a friend of mine here back in 1981 who was diabetic, and it really bothered her because she felt different from other people, and why her? And she finally let go of her nice left brain logical mask and started to cry, you know. I said, hey, why not you? And after all, we've all got something. You know, and so we started going through this, and I started talking about how when I learned how to swim, my dad first taught me how to float, and then he said, well, now why don't you try swimming? You're getting pretty good at that. Yeah, I thought I was too. Why don't you try swimming with no legs? So I tried. Oh, that was hard work, boy, just to make your arms do for your legs, because I'm a leg person myself. And then, okay, but how about without your arms? And I tried that too. And matter of fact, every time I get into a pool or a lake or any place, I automatically go through this routine. I do it all. I swim without my legs, and I swim without my arms, and eventually swim with only one arm. And you can do it. So my friend who was diabetic and I said, you know, it isn't so in life that you should have functioning eyes, because some people won't. And you should have functioning ears, because some people won't. So what do you really, 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 really need? And we mutually decided you really needed a head, and you needed a brain. You didn't have to have eyes. You can get along without them. Didn't have to have ears. You can get along without hearing. You really needed your chest, and you needed one lung. You didn't have to have two. Nice, but you didn't have to have two. And you needed some of your intestines and some of your stomach. You didn't have to have it all. And you needed one kidney, definitely, and you needed part of your liver. You didn't have to have it all. So we decided that that was the basic human being. That's what you didn't have to have arms, didn't have to have legs. You can get along without them. And so we decided that the basic human being has just these things: a brain, a head, one lung, one kidney, part of a liver, part of a stomach, part of the intestines, and everything else is a luxury extra. Thank you, that's okay. And the point is that everything else is a luxury extra. And when you think that way, then automatically the human beings who don't happen to have those extras begin thinking of themselves as complete people. And in my tradition, that's what you do. So after I got through this swimming where I was only using my arms, my dad says, okay, that's fine. You've learned how to do that now. How would it be for you if you could never walk again? And so I thought about that. And the idea is to prepare you for whatever life may bring. So you think through, what would it be like to be blind? What would it be like to have to not be able to hear? And one of them was, what would it be like not to be able to walk because you have no legs? Something happens, big car crash, you know, no legs. So if that ever does happen to you, you're already ready. And as a matter of fact, my back was broken when I was a very little girl, and I was paralyzed for a while. So all of this stuff made great good sense to me. But my dad says, what would you do without legs? And I thought, well, you know, my brother comes all the time and says, Sissy, let's go play. And I really don't want to play. I mean, I want to listen to what my dad has to say, or I want to read. Once I learned how to read, boy, I could hardly wait to read more. And my brother hadn't gotten to school yet, so he didn't know how to read. So he, Sissy, let's go play. And I said, well, I couldn't go play, so I could just read all those books. There are advantages to everything, is the idea. There were only one thing I could pass along, and that is the rule of 6. And the rule of 6 says, for every perceivable phenomenon, devise at least 6 plausible explanations, each one of which indeed explains the phenomenon. There are probably 60, but if you devise 6, this will sensitize you to how many there may yet be, and prevent you from locking in on the first thing that sounds right as the truth. When you have done this, you are not finished. When you have assigned 6 plausible explanations, then what you need to do is, on the basis of your personal experience, assign a probability factor. And you know that someone else's probability factor will be different, probably, because their experience is different, and that's all they have, and that's all you have. And you cannot magically exchange